Okay, there we go. All right, so why don't we thank you for joining us today. I see people are starting to attend, so we're going to go ahead and without any further ado, we will kick this off. My name is Patrick Devlin. I'm the Chief Business Development Officer with Meridian Knowledge Solutions. And joining me today is Marty Merrill. Marty is our Senior Director of Solutions, and he is the one that's going to be driving the product demonstration portion of the discussion today. So Marty, if you would, thank you. Just as a brief background on Meridian, Meridian is headquartered in Reston, Virginia, just outside of the Washington, D.C. area, or the DMV, as we like to call it up here. We have approximately 7 million users worldwide. We've been in business since 1997. We were founded, and historically have been providing a lot of solutions. We like to call it our home field advantage here in the DC area, where so we sort of cut our teeth on the federal, public sector, and association business, working with clients here in the area, and have grown considerably and expanded into virtually every market segment over the last 20 plus years. So next slide, Marty. Some of the key association clients that I wanted to highlight with you today. Some of these are brand name sort of product companies that I'm sure you are familiar with. Others maybe not so much, but we're very proud of the association that we have with our association clients. And we have put a lot of work, detailed work, into both our core product as well as a number of customizations specifically to support the workflows that are required and the business use cases that are required that are unique when you're trying to provide member-based services as you do in a continuing education environment for adult education. So Marty, next one. This is just a quick slide, really as a takeaway for you. I'm not going to go into all the details here, but just suffice to say that as a product that has been in the enterprise solution space now for more than 20 years, we have a very, very broad and deep set of functionality. So as you're looking back on this or looking over it right now, you can see hopefully areas that are covered, anything that cover anything that you might be looking to do with your learning management system platform. But if you look at the next slide, this one focuses more on the areas that we know are specifically the important for our association clients, things like certification, compliance, gamification. Also, the ability to do customizations is extremely important. We find that there are a lot of use cases that are unique to each one of our association clients. And in many cases, that requires, depending upon the vendor that you choose, a lot of manual processes. What we find by being able to support customizations, we can work with our clients to identify the areas where there will be a lot of manual intervention required to do basic processing, and we can provide tailored solutions that will reduce or eliminate the manual processing completely to make it more efficient and allow you to scale and do more with less. The other thing that I want to highlight here is the e-commerce capabilities, because I know that each one of our clients has very unique requirements when it comes to e-commerce, whether it be traditional business to consumer kind of things where you're just supporting individual constituents. We also support the ability to work directly with employers so that you can do bulk purchasing at an employer level, as well as working as a white label provider to other providers. So if you wanted to provide e-commerce transactions where somebody was going to take your content and remarket it into their client base as well, all of those are supported out of the box in our core product. And that tends to be the area where the e-commerce integration customizations are areas that require, that provide a lot of benefit for our association clients. Next slide. I also wanted to mention that for those who are developing your own content, we have a very tightly integrated relationship with a fantastic content authoring and learning content management solution provider called Domino. And it is fully integrated into our solution. It makes it very easy for you to author content, your own content, publish it, and manage and update and maintain it over time. And by working so closely with one provider like this, rather than it allows just for tight integration and real seamless workflows. And then the last piece I wanted to highlight is our flexibility on deployment options. Rather than only being a one-size-fits-all approach in a multi-tenant cloud environment today, we also support private cloud or single-tenant SaaS environments, as well as enabling many of our clients who, for a variety of reasons, may want to run the solution behind their own firewall. We have the flexibility to do that as well. And so when you come to us, we can truly ask questions, we can truly diagnose the problem, and then prescribe a solution that is best for your needs, rather than just, pretending that we're listening to what you're saying and then providing the only solution that we have. And I think this is another area that flexibility that our clients appreciate tremendously. Next slide. All right, and then this is, again, I won't go into all the details here, but the takeaway here is that we take the client success journey very seriously. So it's not just a matter of working with you through the sale and then turning you over to a third party or something of that nature. So we have people that will be consistent with you from an account management perspective, from the beginning of the sales process throughout your entire life cycle with the company, as you grow through implementation, optimization, and expansion into really business transformation opportunities as you mature with the product. And then I think that's the last slide I had before we turn it over to the demo, Marty.
All right, perfect. Let me just switch screens here.
Thank you.
Excellent. So again, my name is Marty Merrill with Meridian Knowledge Solutions. And what we're looking at right now is the external facing side of the solution that many associations do want to go ahead and allow for people to be able to see content from just browsing the web. However, they may have the need to go in and advertise some things. They may have some less formal content, such as a document or a copy of a webinar or something like that. It allows you to go ahead and see information about the course, including searching the catalog. So it allows you to create different content types, as well as course providers, and allow people to go ahead and search for that. If you need any information about the course, all you have to do is simply click on the link, and it's going to show you information about this course. If you'd like to go ahead and allow people to leave a review for the course when they're finished, you can go ahead and allow them to leave a 5-star rating, and then people can search that in the catalog as well. We also try to provide information about the course, including if you would earn any type of continuing education credits after a successful completion. And as Patrick mentioned, if you're utilizing the e-commerce side of the solution, you can also set a retail rate of how much that content item would be. You can pre-program in discounts. You can add in coupon codes. So perhaps the first 10 people that use this code get a specific discount. And you can also purchase this in bulk. So we'll take a look at this in a little bit. But what this allows you to do is perhaps buy for a group of people instead of having everyone go in and individually invoice this. If you don't have an account, you can also allow people to go ahead and create one. And so for those associations that want people to come in from the web, browse the catalog a little bit, find something they're interested in, and then go ahead and create that, they can go ahead and put in information to create their account. So we require at least a login and a password and information for your name. But clients also have the ability to create fields here and add to this list. So this is very valuable for associations that might need to identify people's license number. So for realtors or for people who are working in the finance community, they may need to self-identify, what state they're licensed in and what their license number is or what their association number is. So this just affords you the ability to create a way to capture that information that you otherwise may not get easily. So we're doing that right when they're logging in. Looking at the site from the association learner perspective, the entire site is driven off of a cascading style sheet. So it makes it very easy for you to replicate the look and feel of the LMS to match other systems that you have. If you already have a portal where your members are used to going, you can make it look exactly like that. If you happen to change out different logos or fonts or colors, you also have the ability to go in and make those changes as well. Below that, we have kind of an advertising space here. And this allows you to promote either new content or new things within your association. It can house a video. It can also house images like we see here. And it's just allowing you to go ahead and put information in. And then it's allowing you to pre-program a link that you want to send them. So it could be someplace in the LMS, or it could be someplace outside the LMS if you wanted to, have them go to your portal or to a blog page that you wrote and see that information. So it's just affording you the opportunity to kind of do some advertising. Some of our clients like to put in 2 or 3 advertisements and have them rotate back and forth. That's perfectly fine as well. Below that, you're going to notice that there are some portlets available for the learner. The first one that I'm going to identify is based on your interests. This allows the learner to come into the site and choose some of the content tags that your admins have created. This way, they can self-identify different types of content categories that they would have interest in. So if you think about a person who just signed up in the LMS and they've only been in here for a few seconds, there really isn't a way for AI to come in and suggest things yet because we don't know quite enough about them. We don't know what they've searched on. We don't know what courses they've already taken. So this provides an opportunity right off the bat for us to start promoting content that's going to be associated with what their interests are. If they see a specific type of course or content item that they're interested in, they can always bookmark it and then come back and they can view that saved content later. So it just provides you an easy way to start engagement right away with members of your association. Once we have had people come in and consume some content and do some catalog searches and add it to their profile, we can then start to recommend content for them. And so below here, we're going to see different content that's based on this user information. And then after you've completed some content, we have a full transcript page. However, oftentimes it's just convenient to come into your dashboard and see something you recently completed, and you might print out a certificate of completion for that. The top left portlet called current training is what I like to think of as the to-do list for this person. These are training action items that they have a commitment to go ahead and complete. So it allows you to see what you've registered for, when that is going to take place. If there's any due dates that are associated with that, we can show the due date. We can also warn people as they get towards that due date. It'll turn yellow, and then if they hit the due date, it will go ahead and turn bright red. So outside of the notifications in the system, we're also alerting people as they're in the system of things that need to be done right away. If I have some self-paced content that I need to go ahead and consume, I can either start or resume that content just by clicking on the button. In this case, we're going to notice that a pop-up window came up and it's going to go ahead and load that SCORM course for me. So we see this in a pop-up window. The admins also have the ability to go ahead and make it not use a pop-up window. So it's completely the preference of your admins if they prefer people to take content that's in a separate window on its own, or to render that content directly in the same browser page without a pop-up. We also notice that we've already been consuming part of this SCORM course, and it realized that we've already done pages 1 through 4. So it took me right back to that bookmark of where we were when we left off. And now we can go ahead and identify a test or quiz or anything like that that we might need to go ahead and consume. So I'm just going to exit that. We have the option to explore the catalog. And so many of our clients will go ahead and create different categories just to start grouping content together. This is going to allow for people to browse on a specific topic. We can also promote content that was recently added. So many of our customers, their admins are having a pretty fast cadence of adding in content to the system. This is going to allow, again, you to promote different items that are available that have just been added to the catalog. And then we continue to see items based on our interests, as well as what has been recommended for us. We can also do a search of the entire catalog, just like that we saw before when we were looking at it from the external view without logging in. However, now that we're logged in, we're going to notice that there's actually 44 items within our catalog, and they range from everything from self-paced courses to classroom courses. They could be virtual courses like we're hosting today, or they could even be just on-the-job training. You can, again, identify different course providers and those content tags. And you can also identify the different types of continuing education credits that you'd like to offer and the point values that would be associated if someone is successful in completing that course. If we look at a course with a cost associated with it, we can come in here. I skipped over my course. We can see there's different sections that are available. You may decide to price different sections differently depending on availability and desirability of when they're taught, or you can keep them all the same price. Clicking into the link of that course gives us more information. So in this particular instance, our demo user, Alex, he has actually already completed this course. But we can identify that there's a survey, if there's a survey that's available but perhaps not required. We can also see the full history of when he started that course. And if he wants to retake it, he can go ahead and purchase another section. I also like to point out in the upper right corner, we provide the learner all of the information that they need to do for their next action item. So in this case, Alex has already taken the course. Now we're just letting him know what his next action item is. So he needs to go ahead and take or complete that survey. If a transcript item was due or another course was needed, it would go ahead and prompt him in order to take that. So if you are pushing out any type of certifications or curricula, it can sometimes be confusing if you have 70 or 80 content items for the user to know exactly the path that you want to take. This way you can guide the user through those different areas. We can also identify things like prerequisites and equivalencies for the course as well. So as I mentioned, he's already taken this particular course, but he does have the option to come in and look at different orders that he's had. So in the past, he has gone in and he has purchased in bulk the first aid in the workplace course. So he may have several people that he wants to give those licenses to and afford them the ability to come into LMS on his behalf and go ahead and consume that content. Because he purchased 4 licenses, he gets to go ahead and manage all of the details around those licenses. So for example, we see when the admins have set an expiration date of when those licenses will expire. Out of the 4, he can see that has 3 available to distribute and 1 has been assigned. So he can come in and he can go ahead and he can assign more folks those licenses. He can also transfer ownership of those. So if he gave that license to Sally and Sally comes back and says, oh gosh, I already took this course, so I don't have a need for it, he can recall that license from Sally and give it to someone else. Another benefit of that is he doesn't have to go through your association admin help in order to do that. He can manage that as a self process in the system. He can also request a refund on his own. Again, taking some of that burden away from your admins for that administrative ability. And then managing those keys. So he can see he gave a key to myself. So I got an email letting me know that Alex has gone ahead and awarded me the option to take this first aid in the workplace course. I get a special code in my email that takes me directly to the LMS to this course, and then I can go ahead and consume it without payment because it's already been paid for by Alex. And again, I can withdraw that. I can fully manage this on my own. Each user of the site also has a full profile. So again, you can decide what questions you would like to include in the profile. You can also add as many questions or fields that you want to the profile as well. Again, it's an opportunity for you to gather information from folks. The end user can also look at their gamification points and badges that they've earned, as well as how the site communicates. If you're offering the site in multiple languages, they can set the region that they're in as well as their primary and secondary language. It will always try to show them content that is available in their primary language first. If they have a need to use a screen reader, they can choose the accessibility option, which will allow a screen reader to go through the site and help them navigate. And they can also choose privacy as well as communication functions. Once the learner has completed some training, they also have the ability to come in and look at a full transcript view. So everything that they've accomplished, what their status is, what their completion rate is, again, if they've earned any continuing education credits, as well as if they have earned a certificate of completion that they can go ahead and print out and have that tangible item to go ahead and take with them. Hopefully, this list becomes longer and longer as they consume more and more training from your association. So we do offer quite a few filters up here at the very top that just help navigate this list, as well as by status and date range. So maybe you want to see all the training that was taken in 2020, and then you can also export that for a hard copy if you want. Should the learner have any questions, there's also a help menu right here at the very top that allows them to go ahead and see all the information just in case they need that little bit of help. So I think we are coming up on our time, so I want to make sure that we leave a couple minutes for any questions, thoughts, and comments. So I'm going to go ahead and just let everyone know that if you do have questions or follow-up items or would like to see a demo, you're welcome to go to meridianks.com. And on our website, we have a page dedicated just for learning management associations. So I'll keep this up here for your reference. And you can also request a demo or request to chat directly with our marketing team from the website.
You got a little bit more time if you guys wanted to ask or answer a few more questions if people have them.
I'm actively responding to questions in the Q&A.
Okay.
I don't know if people can speak or or if it's just through the Q&A.
It's through the Q&A, but I've got a question for you. You guys have obviously done a lot of LMS implementations. What's one or two kind of heads up things you would tell the audience to be aware of as they're starting this journey here?
I guess one of the things would be to make sure that you have all the members of the key stakeholder organizations involved in the process, and as early as possible, especially post sales. When you go into the implementation, we often find that there are a lot of, I guess, different agendas around what's important and what the timeframes are, and getting access to the IT resources and everybody. So, just making sure that you have that coordination done so that things can work efficiently and everybody can reach their milestones that they have set. I think that's very important. And a lot of times there are integrations virtually all the time. There are integrations with other third-party vendors, whether it be the back office association management system, whether it be the e-commerce platform, whether it might be a fulfillment solution, et cetera. There are so many different integration points. So it's important that all of that be taken into consideration when you're trying to manage these projects.
Got it. Another question: what's on your roadmap? What cool new feature might you be thinking about implementing that might make a huge difference for folks?
Well, there are two things that come up repeatedly that we're working very diligently toward, and one of them is a gamification. People are it's one of those things that it's in and of itself. The idea is not new, and there have been conversations about it for 10 years, but really in the last 10 months, we've seen an enormous pickup in the interest in really deploying and leveraging gamification to drive engagement and to get people to consume more content and to be just more engaged with the brand overall. So we're definitely investing in our next couple of releases, quite an overhaul of how we're handling gamification. And so I think that's something that you'll see a real impact with. And then the bread and butter of I think all of our solutions especially with our association clients is reporting. And reporting and analytics and dashboards and those sorts of things. So those are the things that I think are most material on our roadmap that will have a real impact.
Cool. Well, thank you both for a great demo. I'll release you from your duties now, but thanks for being here with us. Okay.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Right.
Thank you.
See you guys soon.
Take care.